Another important principle for taking a great picture is image sharpness. Image sharpness is affected by several things, including camera shake, depth of field, digital noise, and a monopod, or even a beanbag to steady the camera. You can also reduce the effect of camera shake by selecting a faster shutter speed. This reduces the amount of time the image sensor is exposed to shaky conditions. A helpful rule of thumb is to set your shutter speed to 1 over the focal length. Confusing? Let me explain. If the focal length of your lens is 300 millimeters, for example, you should set your shutter speed to at least 1/300th of a second. If the focal length is 30 millimeters, you might get by using a shutter speed as low as 1/30th of a second. Other causes of poor focus are digital grain or noise. You can avoid having too much visible noise in your image in several ways. You can set your ISO as low as possible, avoid making large prints, photograph subjects that have a good contrast, and you can let your camera cool off periodically when you're shooting lots of pictures. At times, you may want to blur the motion of your subject to create an effect. If this is the case, you would experiment with a slower shutter speed. You might also want parts of your image to be sharp and other parts to be out of focus. To create this effect, you can experiment with changes in depth of field. Proper exposure is clearly a major part of taking good pictures. By changing the aperture and shutter speed, you can change the depth of field and affect whether a moving object is sharp or blurred. You can make depth of field changes while keeping exposure just the way you want it.